Hi, welcome to Azure User Group Sweden. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back again to our new live session or live stream. Happy Saturday, Håkan.
Yes, happy Saturday. So I'm very happy here to be here again.
Yes, same here. And if you notice, I do have a kind of like different background. It's not a backdrop. It is actually, I'm in the living room, and I think here with me we see Lawrence joining us actually and saying the po high five to
Mm.
everybody that's joining us live today or even at the recording. And welcome everyone. How are you doing today, Håkan, this weekend?
Yeah, so today it's snowy and it's maybe plus one degree, so it's a very nice winter weather where I'm. How about you,
Yes.
Jonah?
We took a morning walk. It was -1, a bit- probably same as in Norway, but no snow, no sun, but it's pretty good. Not too cloudy, so it's good enough. I was up early this morning and I already like went on workout very early.
Mm.
So yes, started the weekend good. Yes. And I saw that you will be at the Global AI Håkan in London.
Yeah, so next week there is Microsoft is having the Microsoft AI tour, and next
Mhm.
week it's time for London and Oslo. So I will be in London as a proctor for one of the workshops, and in Oslo as a spectator. So I can highly
Okay.
recommend it to anyone who has the
Yes,
possibility to come.
that's good. It's a community event and it's free for everybody, just like also this community session that we have. So we have a guest, a special guest joining us. She's also an MVP, joining us from a different country. So it's a very international session today. But let me just go ahead. Maybe we can skip the introduction, Håkan, or should we just do it?
I think we can just do it for the newcomers to our session.
Yes, that's good. Okay, I'll do that. So, everyone that's watching us right now, for those that are new, I would like to introduce my co-leader, Håkan Silvernagel. He is a Microsoft MVP for AI. He is a senior AI architect at Suprasteria in Oslo. He is a community leader, such as Microsoft certified trainer, one of the leaders of the Norwegian .NET user group. He is also the leader of AI school called AI 42, and very active in the community as an international speaker. And glad to be co-working with Håkan also in this community that we have, which is the Azure User Group Sweden.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jonah. So I'm also very happy and very proud to be able to present Jonah Anderson. She's the founder of our meetup, and she is also an Azure MVP, a Microsoft Certified Trainer, and the Microsoft Certified Trainer Community Lead. And in addition, she's a public speaker and she is a podcast host. And she has also authored a book, Learning Microsoft Azure on O'Reilly. She works as a senior Azure consultant.
Yes, and also my dog Lawrence, the most valuable dog that's actually joining our live stream. He's very curious actually right now. What is she doing on the boxes? But great. Should we go ahead and share the code of conduct, Håkan, and then let's introduce and bring in our guests. So at Azure User Group Sweden, we expect everyone to be nice and friendly, uh, be respectful and curious about like sharing your ideas. Inclusiveness is what we follow as well. And if you have questions about our code of conduct or some feedback, feel free to reach out to me and Håkan directly on LinkedIn or through the community meetup that we have as well. And then we will be having as usual the routine, an after session, like a very private and casual after session Zoom meeting, or we call it virtual fika, where you can just relax and join me and Håkan for discussion or further questions that you have with our speaker relating the topic that we have today. So I think that's it, Håkon, from my side.
Yes. Yes. So then we're very happy here to welcome Cynthia here to our meetup. Welcome, Cynthia.
Hi, everyone.
So
Hi,
just a
Ken.
short formal introduction here. So Cynthia Akioto is a Microsoft data protection architect at Accenture, and she is also a cybersecurity architect and identity specialist and the Microsoft MVP in Security Copilot. She is also a regular speaker at global conferences where she shares practical insights on AI governance, identity observability, and emerging cybersecurity risk. And her work centers on securing environments where AI agents, autonomous models, and machine identities are rapidly expanding the attack surface. And she has also led initiatives spanning secure cloud adoption, privileged access management, insider risk mitigation, and identity governance for AI-driven environments. She holds multiple industry certifications, and she is driven by a commitment to secure information. So we're very, very happy to have you here with us.
Welcome, Cynthia.
Thank you, Hakan. Thank you, Hakan and Jonas. So it's a pleasure to be here today at the Azure User Group Sweden. So I'm Cynthia Akiotu, a Microsoft MVP in Security Copilot and also a data protection architect at Accenture, basically working within the Accenture Microsoft Business Group. So I'm basically involved in identity and access management and data security as well, helping organizations in leveraging Microsoft security and preferring solutions for these organizations. So today we are going to be talking about securing access smarter, how AI is rewriting conditional access governance. So let's go straight into it.
That's
So
exciting.
please, Cynthia, share your presentation here with us.
Okay, so can you see my presentation now?
No, not yet. You just need to share it in StreamYard.
Okay. Okay. Mm,
Oh, there it comes.
Okay.
Let's see. I think you need to do the switch. Yeah, exactly. And then probably hide. Yes, that's great.
So is okay now? Okay.
Yeah, yes, it is.
So
Yes, thank you.
okay. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about securing access smarter, how AI is rewriting conditional access governance. So basically, we all know the challenge involved in managing conditional access policies at scale. So today we are going to discuss that, discuss how identity is expanding faster than governance, and how to leverage AI, basically using Microsoft Security Copilot conditional access optimization agent in managing conditional access policy while also implementing human in the loop. So identity governance is expanding, like identity is expanding faster than governance. Of recent, is no longer news. We now have over 90% of identity related attacks based on maybe MFA fatigue and token replay are on the rise. At the same time, I'm sure we've been hearing lots about agents. So we are no longer looking at how to manage users and applications anymore, but also non-human identities across your workflows like AI agents. In large enterprises, is not unusual to see over 2005 cloud applications. An average large enterprise has over 2,500 cloud applications. The result is mature tenants often have over 100 to 300 conditional access policies in place. So imagine this. This is not all about the governance maturity. It also puts in that governance strain when we are not able to manage these conditional access policies at scale. And these results, what are the implications when conditional access compounds? It becomes so complex to manage. What implications do we have in these organizations as well? Conditional access policy doesn't usually fail overnight. It compounds across policy sprawl to governance inconsistency. Dozens or hundreds of policies created over time. So as an organization is growing, the complexity in managing conditional access policy also grows as well. With policy sprawl, organizations having over hundreds of policies created over time, what was secured last year becomes misaligned today because of configuration drift. We have user drift, we have application drift, users join the organization, change roles, and sometimes these policies are not changing as well. Then the issue of lack of explainability, especially when you have different teams managing conditional access policies. So when you have multiple policies stack, it becomes unclear why access was allowed or why it is blocked. Another thing that team fear when managing conditional access policies in large enterprise is the issue of change risk. Teams hesitate to modify policies because the blast radius is unknown. So what happens if I modify this policy? What impact is it going to have on the users? Is it going to disrupt the work environment? Am I going to just block everyone out? So there's that fear of change risk. And the larger one is reviews happen just maybe once in a while. So there's governance inconsistency. So this results in not just insecurity, but also fragility in managing conditional access policies. Yes, we have templates. You can use templates and all, but with the rising or with the use of artificial intelligence, we have to move faster with the speed of AI as well in managing this conditional access policy. So using templates no longer suffice alone, or using your what if in your Microsoft Entra to check the impact of conditional access policies. They no longer suffice alone. That is why we need the use of AI in managing these conditional access policies. Let's talk briefly about what conditional access is, like how conditional access make decisions in our organizations. I just want to break this down just for people who might not really understand what conditional access policy does, the impact and all that. So at the core, conditional access evaluates signals. So signals from the user, the device the device the user is making use of. Is it a compliant device? The location, what location is this user logging in from? Also using signals such as the sign-in risk and the user risk. So this engine or those signals flow into a policy engine. So this is the policy engine you see here, where you see the condition, the grant controls, and the session controls. So the engine applies these conditions, apply grant controls and session control, and enforcement happens. So do we allow this user access our resources? Are they using the right device? Are they logging in from the right location? What is the sign-in risk of that user? What risk does the user what's the user risk? Is it high? Is it medium? And all that before enforcement happens, basically either to allow that user access resources, maybe SharePoint and what have you, or request the user to conduct multi-factor authentication, or even implement app protection policy alongside using device like your mobile app management with Microsoft Intune to ensure that these users are logging, the right user is logging in from the right place, the right location, with the right device and all. So that is what conditional access policy is about. So this is how conditional access makes decision, basically using the signals from the policy engine before enforcement happens. So the architecture is clean, yes, but the challenge isn't how it works, it is how it scales. So when you have large users in your enterprise, so it is not about how it works, but looking at how it scales. How do we manage the complexity in our organization? That's why I'm going to introduce or talk about the relevance of AI, which is the Conditional Access Optimization Agent. The Conditional Access Optimization Agent is a Microsoft Security Copilot agent, basically within the Microsoft Entra for identity and access management. There's one thing I want to bring out here, that this conditional access optimization agent doesn't replace the role of an identity administrator. No, it's basically here to augment and help the identity administrator in managing gaps and loopholes while managing the complexity of conditional access policies. So this is a simple loop of the workflow of how the conditional access optimization agent works. It continuously scans new users in your environment, in your ecosystem. It scans for new applications, agent identities, and even existing policies. It analyzes this scan for policy gaps, for overlaps and drifts, and also then provide recommendations like maybe requiring MFA, device control flows, and blocking legacy authentication. And most importantly, remediation doesn't happen without like humans in the loop. So remediation happens in report-only mode. These policies are not enforced immediately. So admins can review it before enabling the policy. It provides that one-click update. And there's also phase rollout so that you don't just have that big bang policy enabled across your ecosystem. So you might roll it out based on users who will be affected, just low impact users who will be and leave that of the priority users. So it's done in phases without disrupting workflow or disrupting productivity in your organization. So here, AI is not being enforced blindly. It's about structuring governance with the use of human approval and the phased rollout in the conditional access optimization agent. I want to talk briefly about the boundaries. It's important for us to understand the boundaries, basically the prerequisites for running conditional access optimization agents in Microsoft Entra. You require at least minimum the Microsoft Entra ID P1 license and the P2 license if you want signals for user risk and the sign-in risk. And the conditional access optimization agent requires the security compute unit. So, and it operates with the role-based access control. So not everyone has the right to make use of the conditional access optimization agent. So at minimum, you have to build a conditional access administrator with access to Security Copilot or a security administrator. Of course, the global administrator, but it's not always advisable to give the global administrator that right. And the scanning window for the conditional access optimization, it scans on a 24-hour window. So basically scans your ecosystem for new users, for new applications, for any form of misconfiguration. So it does that for 24 hours. And per run, it can check for about 300 users and a maximum of 150 applications. Consolidation is also scoped. It evaluates 4 similar policies per run. So that is the way the Conditional Access Optimization Agent works. So now let's see how that assistance suffices in the tenant, basically through this workflow. First, what you can see here is when the agent runs. So when the agent runs, it provides a summary of what is evaluated. So you can see the number of unprotected users discovered, the unprotected applications discovered, the sign is protected, as well as the security compute unit used. So you can easily see how much unit is being consumed while running the Conditional Access Optimization Agent. So it shows recent suggestions, where you can review these suggestions, and also activity histories of how the agent runs within the 24 hours period. So this is important because here it shows that every run is traceable, every suggestion is reviewable. And here it also shows that the AI, Conditional Access Optimization Agent, is auditable. So now we are going to go further to see how suggestions are being reviewed. Let's take, for example, here, what we can see is the Conditional Access Optimization has scanned the ecosystem and is requiring multi-factor authentication for risky sign-ins. So if you notice, it is created in report only mode. When you click that turn on policy, it creates it in report only mode. So what is the report only mode? The report only mode does not enforce the policy immediately on the users, but gives you a report on the impact it will have when that policy is enforced on the users. So you can review the policy details, you can evaluate the user impact, and additionally, now you can also chat with the agent. So chatting with the agent, it can give you priority on what you should actually enforce first. So these are simple things that the Conditional Access Optimization Agent does. So imagine if you have at scale over 1,000 users, and managing these conditional access policies manually will be very cumbersome and complex. So this is where the Conditional Access Optimization comes into play. And once, the good thing about the Conditional Access Optimization is once approved, deployment doesn't happen instantly. It happens safely. That's where you have the safe rollout. Here, in this place, this is a critical layer where I said earlier, once the policy, the optimization agent recommends something to be done, like here is requiring multi-factor authentication for risky signing. You can click on turn on the policy, and that policy becomes in report only mode. You don't have to. If you still want to review it with your team, there's a pen there where you can easily write what your notes for your other team members to see. You can also mark the suggestion as reviewed without implementing it, or snooze it for about 14 days, where this recommendation is hidden from your report on the Conditional Access Optimization for 14 days before it surfaces back. So the agent scales judgment, but it doesn't remove accountability. So now let's look at the most important safety mechanism, which is the phased rollout. This is my most favorite part of the Conditional Access Optimization with the new update that has been done. One of the biggest reasons conditional access becomes fragile is the fear of change. So I talked about change risk earlier, where teams hesitate on implementing or modifying conditional access policy because of the fear of disruption it might cause within the work environment. So the agent addresses that directly. with the phased rollout, the policies can be rolled out in phases, starting in pilot groups. So after the pilot groups, you can have early adopters, then gradually increasing enforcement. So, and the good thing about the optimization phased rollout is it is reversible. So you can go back and reverse whatever has been enforced. So with this conditional access optimization agent, is showing governance evolves in controlled stages. So basically managing that change risk without any fear of disruption. Let's walk through this process in detail. Now you can see the rollout dashboard. So here we have the phase tracking. You have the user enforcement metrics. So here you can start the phase rollout. You can also move between stages. Either you move to the next stage if you are okay. After the pilot group, you move to the next group, which is the early adopter group, or you roll back to the previous phase. And the good thing about this phase rollout is you can always edit these groups. So for example, you edit the pilot group and ensure that you want the right users in the pilot group if you are not okay with the recommendation of the pilot group suggested by the agent. And the difference here is it is not just a toggle, it is a structured deployment. That's the difference between automation and governance. Now I'm going to scroll now to show us how the Microsoft Conditional Access Optimization Agent work with a demo. So basically, Microsoft has been reviewing the Conditional Access Optimization Agent with lots of improvements across the UI, with the chat, like the chat with the agent, which I've talked about, and also the phased rollout. So why this is a simulation environment that doesn't show the phase rollout and all that, it also works with the same governance and mechanism. So I'm going to show that now. So let's go straight to the demo now. Okay, let's see. Mm, okay, I think I've stopped sharing now. So I'm going to share again. Okay. So kindly let me know if you can see the screen now.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, with the demo environment. Okay, so now this is the conditional access I'm going to talk about the conditional access optimization. So basically is in the Microsoft Entra Admin Center, and you can easily click here and click go to agents, or you come to the conditional access and you also access the conditional access optimization agents here. So here I've talked about what the conditional access policy is all about, giving you signals from maybe your users, applications, and devices, and enforcing them as well. The good thing about the conditional access optimization agent is it also works with device compliance, so you can integrate your Intune as well with it. So that is the good thing with the conditional access optimization agent. So basically, the signal from Microsoft Intune is also fed into the conditional access optimization agent. So this is an overview showing the conditional access optimization, the policy snapshot, and the users. So I'm going to click on the conditional access optimization agent right now. So here, this is the overview. So basically you see the agent, the performance highlights of the agent, which I showed earlier, the screenshot showing the number of unprotected users, the security compute units as well utilized by the conditional access optimization agent. And you can also see the several suggestions as well. Here we have the activities that has been carried out by the conditional access optimization agent, because the agent runs every 24 hours. So you get to see what it has done at every scan. So basically you see the run duration, the suggestion, and the status. And here, this is where you see the settings. These settings can also be managed by the admin as well. This is where you click the trigger that the agent will run once every 24 hours. So once it's on, it runs automatically to scan your ecosystem every 24 hours. When you turn it off, the agent will stop running automatically as well. In terms of the object you want the agent to scan, you want the agent to scan just new users within the last 24 hours or new applications within the last 24 hours. So this is where you do that as well. In terms of identity permission, previously, the agent will run with the identity of the user, enabling the conditional access optimization agent. But now there is an update where the agents are now registered on Microsoft Entra Agent ID, and the agent runs with its own identity rather than the identity of the user. So this is the overview, I think the suggestions and the settings as well. So let's go ahead and click run agent and see, okay, this we can run that. So we'll go to the suggestions now and see about the review suggestions. So let's check this one, add 2 users to existing policy to mitigate the risk, users with password reset. So basically, once you click this to review the suggestion, it shows you the user impact. So the policy requires user identified at high risk to change their password. So basically, it explains every process for you. You can also review the policy changes and view the agent's full activity. So assuming I want to apply the suggestion, all I have to do is to click apply suggestion, and it applies that suggestion in report only mode. Then clicking the view agent's full activity gives us that map of the activity that the agent used in arriving at this particular recommendation. So let's click that. Hope it's visible. So this is the map basically. So you can see with this, we have the policy app drift, policy user drift, and the policy merge. So basically, what is user drift is when there are users that are not protected. When the agent scans the ecosystem and notice users not protected with conditional access policy. So it can scan, and now it found that it scanned users and identified 2 users in the last 24 hours. So basically, it generated 4 new recommendations as well. In the policy app drift, it scanned within the last 24 hours and found out that there were no new applications found. So there was no recommendation as well. And in terms of policy merge, sometimes as admins, we have several similar policies. So the agents scan those policies and ensure that if these policies are similar, it provides recommendation in consolidating these policies as well. Another update that has been made with the conditional access optimization agent is the ability of the agent to produce policy review reports. So basically, the policy review report checks not only if there are conditional access policies, it also checks if these policies are properly configured. So to check the baseline of your environment and also see if the policies are healthy, or for example, you implement a policy and you notice there are spikes in that policy. So it's easy for this policy review report to also surface that as well. Another good thing is it also conducts what we call the deep analysis now. So with the deep analysis in the conditional access optimization agent, you might have a policy that tends to that could lead to lockouts in your ecosystem. So imagine if the emergency access account or the break glass access account is included in that policy. So the deep analysis quickly flags that out so as to avoid any form of account lockouts as well. So this is how the conditional access optimization works. So it gives you that it gives you the view of the agent activities. It enables that you can review your policies and enable the policies when you are comfortable with the recommendation. And with the update I also showed in the walkthrough, you can also do that in phases, so phase rollout across pilot groups and before pushing it to early adopters. So let me stop here and go back to the slides. Okay. Mm. Okay, so I think we so I have talked briefly about how the conditional access optimization works, because sometimes it's not always about the tool. It's for us to understand the features of these tools, to understand why we need it in our organization and the relevance of it. So integrating AI with identity governance. So how do we integrate AI with identity governance? Basically, integrating it responsibly, not as a one-time cleanup, but as part of an operating model. So step one is basically to establish a policy hygiene baseline, which the conditional access optimization agent does as well with policy review reports. Basically understanding how many policies you have and identifying redundancies across this your policy as well. The next one is basically to activate AI in insight mode. So let it observe before it acts. So with the conditional access optimization agent, it scans the ecosystem for maybe user drift, application drift, and also observes by giving users the right to enable this policy in report only mode before implementing the policy. Another one is implementing safe and phased enforcement, just like the way we have the phase rollout in the conditional access optimization agents. So it's no longer a tenant-wide toggle when you toggle up a policy and it affects everyone in your organization. This is more like a structured rollout, reducing any form of disruption in the organization. And monitoring optimization telemetry, monitoring logs of these agents and the impact metrics as well. So monitoring the agent now is registered on Microsoft Entra Agent ID. You can see the activities of the agent as well in Microsoft Purview. So basically seeing what activity this security copilot agent, that is the conditional access optimization agent, has done as well. And embedding AI into the governance lifecycle. So conducting access review, so more proactive access review of what this agent is doing. Yes, it's the conditional access optimization agent. It's also good for us to have visibility, monitor the activities this agent is doing, and check for any form of unusual activity within your ecosystem as well. So it's basically AI scales judgment. So the conditional access optimization agent scales judgment, is not replacing it. It is not replacing the role of the identity admin. It moves from suggestions, so providing suggestions, to approvals and also safe rollout. So after it provides suggestions, it gives the human, the administrator, the right to make approvals and also implement safe rollout in phases as well. So the agent generates structured suggestions, administrator retain approval authority, and enforcement happens safely. If there's anything I want today from this session, I want you to take away is nothing changes without the approval of a human with the conditional access optimization agent. So it requires the identity administrator, like the security administrator, to enforce these policies. So it's not a replacement for identity teams. It's more of the future of the identity governance. The future of identity governance is not manual, but it's rather augmented. So AI surfaces drifts, like the conditional access optimization surfaces drifts before it becomes a risk. So surfacing a user risk, users not protected with conditional access policy before they are being compromised. It provides that explainability where you can see the steps that the agent has carried out, the various stages, the impact, the user impact, the policy impact, and also approvals are done by the administrator, basically keeping humans in the loop. And the phase rollout lowers the risk as well, while modernizing your posture by ensuring that you don't just have big policies enforced across tenant wide. You can do that in phases as well. So conditional access policies, or the conditional access, it doesn't need replacement. It just needs structural reasoning at scale, which the conditional access optimization agent offers for managing the complexity of conditional access policies as well. So basically, it is changing how we operate now, from reactive configuration to continuous optimization. So nothing changes without your approval. The agent simply scales with your judgment. So thank you, and I'm open to if you have any questions regarding the conditional access optimization agent as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cynthia, for a very interesting session here.
Yes,
So-
thank you. Thank you for that. We do have a question, Håkan, right?
Yeah, let's see here.
Oh, don't stop. Okay. Okay.
Yes, so
we do have a
let me
question. Yes, go
show
ahead.
it here. So we have a question here from Pradarshin Shettiar, who says, is conditional access optimization agent if it incurs extra cost?
Okay.
We are already using Entra ID based authentication. Does this also applicable to smaller teams?
Oh, okay. So for the conditional access optimization agent, it runs with the security compute unit. So the security compute unit comes at its cost because it scans the environment like every 24 hours. But at most, you need just one security compute unit. So scanning your environment, it takes less than one security compute unit, and it can scan about 300 users and 150 applications. Then the question of regarding you have smaller teams. So it's about just like we have the use case of AI now. AI, there are some teams that you can actually just do a simple workflow to mitigate any form of risk. So if you have lower users, I would say still manage it the way you currently do, maybe using your templates, and maybe the size of your users are really small. But this will offer great advantage for organizations at scale with complex lots of users across maybe different let's say you're managing remote users, thousands of workers, or you have lots of people in your organization. But if they are pretty small, except you want to experiment with the conditional access optimization to see how it works before putting it out in a larger organization. I would say the use cases of agents for the conditional access optimization best used when you have a complex environment, a large organization, and then you see greater benefits. I hope I've been able
Okay.
to answer that.
Yes, I hope that our guest is satisfied. But I do have a question. Håkan, do you have any? I was thinking of asking a question at least.
You can take you first.
Yes, this is a question that randomly came on my mind. I know this is a feature that's probably preview some parts of it, correct,
Yeah.
Cynthia? And I'm curious, how does it work? Because I'm familiar using Microsoft Defender for cloud, and it's of course
Okay.
it's across the ecosystem of Azure. But with this tool, Conditional Access Optimization Agent, how does it work if AI does the, what do you call that, the review of like security risk? How do you do the review if it's false or true, for example? Because sometimes in Defender you can just like say, hey, this is false, this is something we need to handle. How does it work when it comes to review of
Okay, so
threats?
okay, okay. So we review. You can always provide, there's an option to provide feedback as well. So, and the good
Mhm.
thing now across the preview is the conditional access optimization agent. There's now there's a knowledge base. So with that knowledge base, you can provide maybe naming conventions of your policies, your usual policy. So the agent now learns those naming conventions. It also learns about the exclusions, maybe the emergency account, the name of the emergency account that needs to be excluded from every policy. So it creates that you can now create those personals in a PDF and upload it to the conditional access optimization. So when it provides recommendation, it can also provide recommendation following the naming convention of your conditional access policy. There is also an option to provide feedback regarding any inaccuracy you feel, because is some features are currently in preview and the UI it keeps improving. Which now we now have the chat with the agent. Of course, we also have now the phased rollout as well. So that's the essence of the feedback too.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for that. I have a follow-up question, but I'll save it for later on our after
Okay.
session fika. But maybe Håkan has something in this tool.
Yeah, so I have a question here. So if we take a step back, Cynthia, what would your recommendations be for anyone watching this and is interested in taking their first step into security? Do you have any guidance to them?
Okay, so taking the first step into security. Security is wide, like I always say. So know the basics, the fundamentals, and also have a knowledge of what aspect of security you want to go into. So do you want to go into the identity and access management part of it? Do you want to go into the data security aspect of it? Offensive part of it? So you have to know what areas you want to face. And of course, the landscape keeps changing. Now we have AI security. So you basically need to know about, we used to manage just users. Now we are also looking at managing agents and AI identities as well. So going into the cyber security space is a bit wide. So you have to look for a niche where you have that passion for as well. Carve a niche as well. Look at that niche where your interest lies and develop yourself. So I'm an advocate. I'm not about Microsoft as well. We have the Microsoft Learn platform where you can take as little as the Microsoft Security Compliance and Identity Fundamentals to understand the fundamentals of cybersecurity and the various Microsoft security stack. And then you can then specialize into whatever area you want to go into as well.
That's a good good input. I have one more question. My mind keeps popping up questions as I learned. I want to ask. I mean, you are working. You're a Microsoft MVP for security and identity access management. I saw, but you're also working day to day as a security architect. So or cybersecurity architect. But I'm just curious, like now that we have an evolution or expansion of a lot of AI tools, agent, for example, what do you see are the common, at least top three threats or like challenges when it comes to AI applications and security? Like things
Okay.
that you have observed that you can share at least to us that's also adopting AI, but at the same time also see the relevance of, like, for example, responsible AI and cybersecurity into this, because it involves data, of course.
So the first one is about oversharing. So in our organization, yeah, every organization or most organizations are using Microsoft Copilot, cloud, and all that. So basically, it's about oversharing. So m- adoption is high. Every organization, every top CTO, CIO wants to use AI, but also there's a challenge of employees understanding how to use AI responsibly. So across data oversharing. So, and that is why we have the implementation of data security, ensuring that you have your data are properly labeled, ensure you have proper data classification, ensure that users are trained on these various ways of labeling your data to implementing security policies like data loss prevention to ensure that users are not sharing information on AI tools not approved by your organization as well. And another one is, I'll call it prompt injection attack. So now AI is being I'll use the word democratized, because developer, a developer now can use AI in making good agents across. Even if you are not a developer, you can make use of Copilot Studio. You can make use of Azure AI Foundry as if you want to make complex agents as well. So the issue about prompt injection attack, where malicious hackers can now tell these agents to do something which it is not meant to do as well. So that is one big challenge or fear from organization. And with that, we now have different security approaches across that, like using prompt shield and all as well. So above all, I would say the major fear is about data sharing, oversharing of data, sensitive information, and prompt injection attack as well. But with training, it will help. Security is good, and the security of AI is not here to stop the adoption of AI. It's basically to balance productivity and innovation as well.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. We lost Håkan for a minute there. I think tech issues. Thank you so much. I think it all goes back to like being ready and having the basics of like security in everything. Also, not just like application, but
Yeah.
also the new technologies that we integrate into our systems. And this is very relevant since it's going fast. We do have
So I would
another
like,
question. I mean, sorry,
okay.
go ahead.
So I said I would like to borrow the word of Vasu Jaka that always says security is a team
Mhm.
sport. So it's not just the security professional, it's for everyone in the ecosystem, in the
Yes.
organization.
Yes, but in my experience, I noticed that security. See, I know it's very relevant, but I know it requires a lot of good communication between teams, because handling security risk within like different teams, especially in the applications or like infrastructure or cloud, requires collaboration, a lot of communication, and it's. I think at the bottom of it, it's more like really knowing the purpose and how it benefits us or the entire team. So it's very relevant, as you said. We do have one question that we will take last before we get off
Okay.
stream and do our after session fika, or like a Zoom meeting. We think it's the same question from the same audience or member. If getting started with cybersecurity from beginner to advanced, what do you suggest as a career path and learning path?
That's
Same
a
path as
good.
you, I think that's what she's trying to do. If she wants to follow your path,
Okay, okay. She wants to follow my path because I didn't want to
I
impose
hope
any
so.
path. Because most times I always go with when people come to me and ask me such questions, I tend to ask, where are you coming from? What are your like what role? What do you do? I trying to also understand what transferable skills you have that can be used in cybersecurity because it's wide. So there's governance, risk and compliance as well, GROC and all. But if you say my own part, okay. So basically you start with the foundation. So I started by understanding the foundation of cybersecurity across my role working as an IT support analyst. So that gave me a first step for me to understand that. I also went ahead in studying very well. Specifically, I'm very conversant with Microsoft Security, and Microsoft has made learning easy for us. You don't really have to pay much if you want to learn on your own, or you want to pay. Well, if you want to learn on your own, there's the Microsoft Learn. I hope I've dropped that link. Okay, we have the Microsoft Learn. In Microsoft Learn, you have different parts, starting from the fundamentals to the intermediate before you go to the associate part. So currently, I work as a data protection architect, and I'm a Microsoft certified information security administrator, and also a Microsoft certified identity and access administrator. So basically, those roles is in the Microsoft Learn. Go there, study it phase by phase, and then what I always say is in stages. And Microsoft also provides virtual training days. So check for virtual training days you can attend as well for the foundation, and take it step by step. Don't bombard yourself so you don't get too confused. So go from a foundation stage if you are starting new before moving to the advanced stage. And also keep yourself abreast with news. Is on LinkedIn. You can always see news on cyber security, AI security, network, attend conferences as well. Know what emerging risks are happening across AI as well.
Okay. That's a great answer. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Both Håkan and I are Microsoft certified trainers. I know that there's like different like path, at least for beginners. Like as Cynthia suggested, there's the ESC 900
Yeah.
for the compliance and security. If you want the associate level, there's also the Azure security engineer, which is one of the hardest certifications, also next to the admin Azure administrator certification. But as I said, you can follow the path of Cynthia in becoming a cybersecurity architect, but you can also choose your own path depending on how you want to diversify your career. But that's those are great advice, Cynthia. Thank you for sharing. I think that's all. I think we only have 1 minute left on the live stream, and we respect everyone's time. Håkan, did you have anything else, like questions and other things you want to add?
No, I just want to thank you, Cynthia, for a great session here, and I hope that some of our viewers will join us for the fika here afterwards.
All
Yes,
right.
that's right.
Thank
We
you.
did get a thank you from Priya. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. She really appreciate your advice and answers to the questions. So thank you so much for the great presentation, Cynthia, and for joining us this weekend and giving us 1 hour of your time to share. And I hope you can also join us in our like Zoom meeting that we organize every week, actually. So let me just show again the QR code. It should be the same. Oh yeah, let me. I did too much of the banner. Let me just. So so it's the same Bitly link and QR code. So that should direct you to the Zoom meeting that we prepared, and you can easily join in. So
Fine.
that's it. Anything else, Cynthia? Upcoming talks or initiative that you want to share to our community members or the people that are watching this video or stream?
Okay, so my upcoming talks and my upcoming interest as well is across security, across AI, so emerging AI risks, particularly across agents. So how do we secure agents and all? Because this is something organizations we need to look out for as we are deploying agents as well. So I have a keen interest in that, and I also look forward to doing talks as well regarding that area as well.
Okay, that's good. And you are on LinkedIn, as far as I know. If our
Yeah.
audience wants to reach out to you for further questions or connection.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Håkan, any final words before we end?
Oh, yes. Wish everyone a great weekend.
Yes, and thank you, Cynthia, and happy weekend, everyone, and see you again in 2 weeks. Our next session will be on March the 7th, I believe, in 2 weeks. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
All right.